Sammy, where are you going? What are you doing with that bag? Actually, how are you carrying that bag? Also, how do you move?
I'm going to a birthday party.
Oh, whose birthday?
The client.
The client?
Yeah, I'm the magician.
Have you ever done it? Have you done magic shows before?
No, but I got a bag of tricks, and I got an audience show, I got a magic show.
Sammy, just because you have a bag of tricks, it doesn't necessarily mean you have a show.
Oh, I know. For kids, it's more about entertainment than the tricks. In fact, the tricks aren't as important as the picture business and the fun you add to them. In fact, it's the journey, not the destination.
Well, you certainly have the lingo down.
Oh, yeah, I read all the books.
Well, you're right, Sammy. It does take more than just tricks. You gotta turn those tricks into fun-filled routines, but just because you have a bunch of routines, it still doesn't necessarily mean you have a show.
It doesn't? What am I gonna do? I got a show in an hour. And I don't have a show. I don't know what I'm gonna. This is worse than that Dunkin' Donuts experience.
Okay, Sammy, I'll tell you what. How about you give me
35 minutes?
We'll go back inside and I'll tell you a few things you can do to turn that bag of tricks into a full-fledged show.
Oh, yay! Yippee! Stippy! Yeah! It's the show! I don't mean show! No, it's a show about writing a show! It's not a show! It's not a show! It's truly a show about show! So enjoy the show! Oh, that's all! You can go back to the show now! Okay, bye!
Okay, Sammy, let's see what we got in this bag of tricks of yours. Let's see. Well, look at this right here on top. I see this clear plastic tube. Now this, we have a few different colored silks here. You put these together, we have the crystal tube or blow tie illusion. And you know what? We can use this to demonstrate the first rule of turning a plain old bag of tricks into a show. The magician performs his favorite routine with the crystal tube.
Oh, like Silly Billy's or Samuel Patrick Smith's.
Or maybe the magician has his own original version.
This is crazy talk.
Well, he blows the silks out of the tube. They fly through the air.
In slow motion?
Sure. Anyway, they end up tied together. And after the applause, he places the silks on his table or somewhere so they're on display. That way the audience can see them during the show. Well, time passes.
Oh, it's making me dizzy.
At the end of the show, the magician grabs the silks. He bunches them up in his hands, and then he blends them into one large multicolored silk.
Oh, neato skeeto!
So you see, Sammy, bookending is what happens when the beginning of your show and the end of your show somehow connect.
Oh, I don't get it.
Well, you see, Sammy, what you want to do, at the end of the show, you want to kind of remind the audience of the beginning. It sort of gives it an all-encompassing, full circle feel. So it feels like everything sort of ties nicely together. It gives your end of your show, well, an end of your show feeling. There's a couple ways you can bookend. This one I call pay it forward. That's when the result of a trick, in this case it's 3 silks tied together. The result is then used at the end of the show. So we take those 3 tied together silks and we blend them into one large silk. That's called pay it forward. I'll give you another example of pay it forward. Let's see what we... Oh, well, now this. Oh, this will be perfect. We can use this to demonstrate a pay it forward bookending. The magician enters the stage carrying a small briefcase.
Oh, what's he gonna do? His taxes?
No, he's not doing taxes. He opens it up and pulls out all sorts of production items, like flowers.
Oh, that's that's a big magic wand! Woohoo! Well, be careful with those, it's gonna fall!
He can even pull out a bowling ball.
That's a dog.
Same difference. Anyway, at some point, the magician even produces a collapsible table. He opens it up and places it aside on stage so it sits there and it waits. It stays on display throughout the show, so the audience watches it, wondering what it's there for. It's never used or referenced again until later, at the end of the show. For his final trick or production, whatever he does, he finishes, places it on the table, and takes his bow. Now that that table has been brought back into play, the audience knows it's the end of the show, so they give him a big round of applause. Sammy? I see you have blue painter's tape. You really have been studying children's magic. You know, this is a great tool. You put it on the ground, it delineates where the stage is and where the kids are supposed to sit. It's a great tool for kid control. But you know, come to think of it, we can use this blue tape and even just a plain old table, and we can create some pay-it-forward bookending without even doing a magic trick at all. This line is the line of the stage, the magician tells the kids as he points to the blue painter's tape that he placed on the floor.
Oh, look at that! He's doing it just like you said! That's amazing!
Yeah, it's really incredible. But the point is, the magician now performs his entire show.
Ooh, that's a long show!
Yeah. Well, to end the show, he pulls up the tape, he bunches the tape up into a ball, and he places it into a little black bag. That's when he says the magic words, "Oh, yay, taco!" Okay, that was really loud and in my ear, but yes, he says the magic words, the bag opens up, and the words "The End" appear written with blue painter's tape.
Oh, neato!
Yeah, and because of bookending, the audience now knows that the show is over.
Well, and it doesn't hurt that the words "The End" are there.
Yeah, I guess. But you know what? Let's try another example.
Oh, can I do the narrating?
Sure.
Look at that. It's a table. There's a table and there's some yellow sticks. And those are the legs of the table. That's neat. And there's a table again. There's a bit more table. And more table. There's a lot of table. And there's where are we going? Oh no, the lights are out. Oh, it's scary with the lights out.
No, Sammy, the lights are out to make a point. You see, imagine there's a table on stage during the entire show, and it's never used. The magician never talks about it. Well, the show ends, the magician takes a bow, the lights go out, and everybody heads home. Well, the audience would suddenly have an unfinished feeling. Maybe it's conscious. Maybe they know. They wonder, why didn't he use that table? Or maybe it's subconscious. They're not sure why, but for some reason the show just didn't feel complete. It didn't feel satisfying. It's because we set up a bookend and didn't pay it off at the end. That table was sitting there, but it was never used. So let's turn back time.
If I could turn back time!
No singing.
Oh.
Look, simply having a table on stage that you never use during the show can act as a bookend. All you have to do at the end of the show is place your final prop on the table, like your Britannia or the rabbit that you just produced.
What if you don't have a rabbit?
Well, a dog dressed like an astronaut will do just fine.
What if you don't have a dog dressed like an astronaut?
Then a dog dressed like a dinosaur will be a nice substitute.
Well, naturally.
But don't think it has to be a big effect or a big prop. Simply placing a deck of cards or any small prop down at the end of the trick and taking a bow will clue the audience in on the fact that the show is now over. Let's see what else we got in the bag, Sammy. We have... Oh, wait a minute. You got a few more silks here. Oh, wait. These aren't just any silks. These are the 20th century silks. And we can actually use these to demonstrate our second form of bookending. It's called pre-setups. Now, how would you normally perform the 20th century silk, Sammy?
Oh, without screwing up!
That is probably a good way to do it, but what I'm talking about is normally a magician might take two silks, tie them together, then immediately bring out a third silk. They make this third silk disappear and it ends up tied between the other two silks. Well, there's no rule that says once you tie these together, you have to immediately bring this out. That's where pre-sit-ups comes into play, and pre-sit-ups is one way we can bookend our show. The magician ties two silks together at the beginning of the show and places them into a receptacle.
Oh, so they can stay on display?
Exactly. Later, the magician does not remind the audience about those tied together silks.
Oh, how come?
Surprise!
Oh, is it my birthday?
No, not for you, for surprise for the audience. You see, at the end of the show, he brings out a silk and makes it disappear.
Oh, it didn't work. Look at this. Oh, wait.
That's right, it's a picture of a clown pointing or a hand pointing.
But pointing where?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Hey, I almost forgot about those.
Surprise. And now the show ends with that full circle feel. Hello. Sammy, how are you fitting all this stuff into this little bag?
Oh, well, you were narrating that last part and the camera cut away, but I kind of emptied it out and put more stuff in it.
I guess that's one way to do it. This actually reminds me of one of my favorite ways of turning a simple bag of tricks into a full-fledged show. It's called puzzle pieces. And it's almost exactly like the pay-it-forward version of bookending, except we're going to take that idea and extend it throughout the show, so that the whole show has a more cohesive feel.
Oh!
I do this very idea with this very trick. This is a Botania. I do this in my one suitcase show. You might have already seen it, but I'll give you a quick example of how I do it. What does a magician wear on his head?
Oh, a magic hat!
But no, I wasn't asking you, Sammy. That's what the magician asks the audience before displaying his magic hat. Then he says, what does a magician wave in the air?
Oh, a wand!
Again, no, not for you, it's for the audience. Anyway, he reaches into a small bag and pulls out an 8-foot magic wand.
Oh, wow!
Later, he invites the birthday child up on stage and he gives the birthday child a wand to hold.
Ah, look out!
It's a flower, Sammy, don't get scared.
Well, it could be an evil flower.
That's just a flower. Anyway, the child taps the hat with the wand.
Oh, a rainbow! Yeah.
Well, fast forward to the end of the show. The magician shows a metal tube. He shows it empty. He places the rainbow streamer inside, followed by the flower that was on display during the show. Next, he waves the giant magic wand.
Oh, wand display during the show?
You're getting the hang of this. The puzzle pieces add together to create one large, colorful bouquet of flowers. Ah! Not evil flowers.
Oh, phew.
So you see, Sammy, puzzle pieces makes your entire show feel like it's slowly leading up to that ending. So to insert some puzzle pieces into your show, you need to start from the ending. Figure out what the end is, and then work your way backwards, inserting those puzzle pieces into your show. Let's say you're going to make a rabbit appear at the end of the show. What do you need to make the rabbit appear?
A mirror! Or a secret compartment.
No, I don't mean what do you literally need as a magician. I mean, what do you need for your routine, whatever you're putting together? Maybe in your routine, you need some carrots to entice the rabbit to appear. So earlier in the show, do a multiplying carrots routine. Maybe you need a magic hat to produce your rabbit out of. So earlier in the show, dress a little boy or girl up like a magician so that they could do some magic. Now that's come into play. It's another puzzle piece. Maybe you do a fun balloon modeling routine in your show and you make a balloon rabbit. So later you're going to use this, put it in your production box. This pops and your rabbit appears. So again, it's another puzzle piece. Maybe you need the most powerful magic wand in the world and you happen to show it off during your show. It just goes wild and crazy. You see how powerful it is, so that it finally comes into play again at the end. You can use this powerful magic wand to make the rabbit appear. So again, then what you want to do, take the ending, in this case a rabbit appears, and work backwards. Now let's see, maybe find something else in here. Oh, maybe you have one of these.
I do! In fact, you're holding it right now!
Maybe at the end of the show you use one of these pans to make a large birthday cake appear by magic. So that's the end of the show. Let's look at an example of how we could take that ending, making a birthday cake appear in a pan, and we can work backwards and figure out how to get there with some puzzle pieces during the show. The magician plans on baking a cake at the end of the show, so let's come up with some puzzle pieces that might lead us up to that.
Okay, let me try. He needs some flour.
Oh, that's a good one. So he produces some flowers.
That's the wrong kind of flour.
Well, what else does he need?
An egg,
Sure. So at some point he performs his favorite egg bag routine.
Oh!
And maybe it'll be a sponge cake.
So he does a sponge ball
Routine. Yeah, he does his favorite sponge ball routine. So now it's the end of the show. Time for the baking routine. He shows the pan empty, places all the ingredients in the pan, like the flour and the egg.
Oh, don't forget the sponge!
Don't worry, I'm sure he won't forget the sponge. Now, the puzzle pieces throughout the show become the ingredients that lead us up to the grand finale, the magical baking of a birthday cake.
Wow, it really is that simple!
You know, Sammy, while I have this hat, would you like me to reach inside and pull out a bunny rabbit?
Oh boy, would I ever!
Reach inside and pull out a bunny rabbit! Look at that!
That's not a rabbit!
Oh wait, that's a rubber duck with bunny ears. Well, I didn't want to do that trick anyway. But I do want to tell you about the third way that you could turn a simple bag of tricks into a full-fledged show. The magician attempts to make a rabbit appear in his magic hat.
That's a bucket!
Well, sure, but he wears it as a hat.
Oh, 'cause he's got a weird shaped head.
Hey.
Just calls him like I sees him.
Well, after the magic words,
G.I. Taco!
ow, right in my ear again, thanks. He pulls out a bunny rabbit.
That's a rubber duck.
Well, upset, he places the bucket aside and continues with the show. But a few tricks later, that bucket comes out again. The magic words,
Yay, taco!
Oh, thank you, much better. And he pulls out a rabbit.
That's a monkey!
Yep, dejected, he ditches the bucket again.
Until a few tricks later...
You're catching on.
Oh, let me guess. He pulls out a dog in a bunny costume.
Close. Mr. Potato Bunny. Again, upset, he places the bucket aside. Finally, at the end of the show, he pulls the bucket out one last time and produces, a rabbit! Or a dog in a skunk costume.
You sure have a lot of costumes for that dog.
I'm a very lonely person. So you see, Sammy, a running gag is what's a bit of business repeated throughout the show. And every time it's repeated, for kids, it definitely gets funnier. But not only that, it acts as a glue, gluing together different sections of the show. Even though all your tricks may have nothing to do with each other, you still have this through line going through your show. There's a couple of different types of running gags. This one, the rabbit appearance, is kind of what I would call the traditional running gag. It's the way a lot of magicians have been doing it for kid shows for many years. And the idea is, early in the show, the magician fails. He tries a trick and fails, and the kids laugh. A couple tricks later, he fails again. And a couple tricks later, he tries it and fails again. Finally, at the end of the show, he tries to make a rabbit appear, or make a big bouquet of flowers appear, or make somebody float in the air. Whatever it is, he finally tries it, and he succeeds. Well, not only does a running gag glue a show together and get laughs throughout the show, but because he keeps failing throughout the show, when the magician finally creates that magical moment, it makes it that much more impressive. So, don't feel like you have to do a big fancy trick. You don't have to do a rabbit appearance or a dove appearance or something really big. You could take something simple like a pair of scissors and a piece of rope, and by doing a running gag throughout the show, you could take just an ordinary cut and restored rope trick and turn it into well, a miracle big enough to act as a finale for your show. Magicians often use sleight of hand to do their magic. That's what the magician says to the audience. Well, today I'm going to perform a classic of magic using sleight of pocket.
Ouch! I'm doing the voice of the rope.
Okay.
Ouch! This guy cut me in half and stuff. And he's putting me in his pocket for some reason. It smells like cheese in here. Why does this pocket smell like cheese? Oh, wait. He's grabbing my feet now. Oh, look, everybody, I'm back together. Oh, no, I'm still in severe pain.
Yeah, the magician fails, so he puts the ropes aside.
I sure hope he brings me out again and tries after a few tricks.
Well, that's exactly what he does.
Yay, I'm a happy rope. Oh, wait, no, he stuck me in the shoe now for some reason.
Well, that's to demonstrate sleight of foot to the audience.
Oh, it smells like cheese in here, too. This guy sure eats a lot of cheese. Wait, he's grabbing my feet again. Oh, still cut in half.
Finally, at the end of the show,
where's he gonna stick me now?
Sleight of mouth.
Yeah, he's definitely been eating some cheese in here. Wait, what's happening? I feel all tingly. Hey, I'm back together and whatnot. Whatnot? You get it? Whatnot?
Oh, I'm afraid not.
And that's too bad. It was really funny.
Sammy, why is there a stinky old sock in your bag of tricks?
Why is there stinky socks on your feet?
Because on my feet is where stinky socks are. My socks aren't stinky. Look, never mind. Look, this sock actually reminds me of another type of running gag. It happens to be probably one of my favorite things to do in a show to make a normal bag of tricks feel like a show. It's a running gag that I call Fig Newton.
Fig Newtons! You're making my mouth water!
Yeah, I could go for a Fig Newton right about now, but I actually got this idea from Fig Newtons. More specifically, Mac King. Mac King, in a show in Las Vegas, I saw his show. And in his show, he would do things like this. He would have an audience member sign a card. The card would go in the deck. Well, when they looked in the deck again, the card was gone. He would then show his hand empty, reach into his pocket and pull out a Fig Newton. This happened a few times during his show. In the middle of tricks, he would randomly find a Fig Newton. And every time he pulled another Fig Newton out and said, "Fig Newton," the audience would laugh. Well, I immediately realized how funny of an idea this is, but also how brilliant the idea is at creating a show-like feel. I mean, here we have a bunch of random tricks. But just by inserting this same object throughout a few times, it makes those tricks feel like one cohesive unit. And it really is that easy. You just pick an object, like a sock. It could be any object. A toothbrush. It could be a spider, a fake spider. It could be a banana. It doesn't matter what it is. You pick an object, you buy a bunch of them. Then you make a list of your show, all the tricks in your show, and you just stick this object throughout. Hide it in different places. It really is that easy to insert a Fig Newton running gag into your show and make your show get a lot more laughs and feel a lot more cohesive. The magician keeps finding socks throughout his show. So before showing his change bag empty, he finds
a sock!
Sammy, I just told you he was gonna find a sock.
Another sock!
Yes, he finds one before he does a card trick too. And what do you think he'll find tied to that rope?
A monkey?
No.
A sock! I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, he goes to grab a magic wand.
No, that's a sock.
That's right. So he goes to grab a magic wand for real.
No, that's another sock.
So you see, it's simply a matter of figuring out ways to hide an object in each routine. What you hide and how you hide it depends only on your imagination. Like after a multiplying balls routine, the ball ends up.
He looks like a clown.
And he shouts, "I am not a clown." Later, he demonstrates how he can show his bag empty by unzipping the bottom and looking through it. he's a clown again! I am not a clown, he says. He goes behind the curtain to grab a prop, looks in his table for a prop, or even reaches into his coat pocket. Every time he finds another clown nose and shouts, I am not a clown! That's funny. Sammy, you'll never guess what I see.
What is that? Is weird.
What is that? You're a clown! I am not a clown. No, the thing I see is one final way of turning an ordinary bag of tricks into a full-fledged show. Of course, what I see is not in the bag. No, it's not in the bag. It is the bag.
Oh!
Yeah, it blows your mind, doesn't it? I'm going to let this bag be the perfect example for our rule number 5. The magician displays his bag of props and explains, this is my magic bag. It's where I keep all my cool magic. You guys want to see what's in it? Oh yeah! That's what the kids will say. So the magician begins pulling his props out of the bag for each routine. And each time he says something like, let's see what else I can find in my bag of magic. Oh, so even though the tricks have nothing to do with each other, talking about the magic bag that you're pulling them out of kind of links them all together. Hey, you said that just as those linking rings came out. Yeah, I kind of watched ahead and planned that one. So you see, Sammy, it's really not that hard to come up with a general broad theme to put on top of your random tricks to make them feel, well, not so random. Some people think that coming up with a theme is hard because you come up with a theme and then you gotta find all the tricks that go with the theme. But if you find a theme that's broad enough and that deals with general magic, you can pretty much use all the same tricks you're already using. For example, pulling things out of your bag of tricks. You have the general theme. Here's another one. We have all these crazy, kooky magic wands. Well, maybe you're demonstrating the magic wands you've collected over the years. Oh, this one. This one I got at an old antique magic shop in a dusty corner. Oh, this one I got in Antarctica. You're talking about all these magic wands, and each magic wand does a different thing. This one makes things float in the air, so you do a trick with that. This one, it looks broken. That's because you use it to fix things. If you cut a rope in half, you can put it back together. Oh, we got all sorts of magic wands to do all sorts of things. So you're doing the same tricks and funny bits of business in your show, but you're just adding a general theme on top of it, your magic wand collection. Here's another one. If you do birthday parties, it's as simple as asking the birthday child, Jenny, how old are you? 5 years old. You know what? That's amazing. When I was 5 years old, my grandpa, for my birthday, gave me my very first magic trick. Yeah, the first trick I ever learned. Would you like to see it? So then I show the first trick in my show, under the guise that this was a trick my grandpa gave me when I turned 5. Well, after that trick, well, you know what? When I turned 6 years old, my grandpa gave me my second magic trick. Would you like to see what I got when I was 6? Well, this next trick, this is what I got when I was 7. So you see, I'm doing the same tricks as always, but I have this general theme. These are the tricks I got each year on my birthday. If you're doing a Christmas show, you do all your normal tricks, but say, hey, these are presents I got for my family. I got this bouquet of flowers from my mother. Oh no, there aren't any flowers. I got this nice scarf for my grandmother, and you do a trick with that. So you're adding a general theme to connect all the tricks you're already doing. Of course, you can also come up with a theme and then find tricks that work with it. In fact, let's try that right now. Let's come up with a theme for a birthday party. In fact, our theme's gonna be making the perfect birthday. Sammy, you wanna try this one?
Oh, okay. The theme is to make the perfect birthday for the birthday child, so, well, you can't have a birthday without a cake.
Oh, good one. So the magician does his favorite baking routine.
Oh, and you gotta have decorations. Oh, and it's not a party without a clown.
See how easy it is? If your theme is general enough, you can easily build a show around it with effects you already own.
Oh, you can say that again.
Okay, if your theme is general and no, don't really do that. What, you don't think that joke's funny? No, I kind of hate that joke. Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. 5 ways to put the show back in Magic Show. First, you can bookend your show so that the end references back to the beginning, making your show feel like it's come to a satisfying conclusion. You can bookend by paying it forward. That's where the end result of one of your opening tricks acts as the beginning of your final trick. For example, you could use Tony Clark's Gypsy Balloon routine at the beginning of your show. The end result of that trick? A helium balloon tied to a long string. So you leave that on display during the show. Finally, at the end of the show, you take that balloon, shove it into your favorite production box, pop it, and a rabbit appears. So the end of the first effect, a balloon tied to a string, acts as the beginning, putting it into a production box, of your final effect. You can also bookend your show with a pre-setup. That's where you set a trick up at the beginning of the show, but you don't actually perform the magic until the end. Taking that same gypsy balloon effect, you could tear the string up into pieces, attach them back to the balloon, and leave it on display. Don't actually perform the trick. Finally, at the end of the show, say the magic words, do the magic gesture, release the balloon, it floats up into the air, and as it floats up, the string magically goes back together. Either way, however you decide to bookend, it will make your show feel like it's come full circle. Second, you can add puzzle pieces throughout your show. These are objects or concepts that come into play during your magic routines that eventually add up to create the finale. For example, early in the show, you can fold up a dollar bill. When you unfold it, it turns into $2. Place them aside on view. Later, perform Jeff Hobson's balloon bag routine, available on Jeff Hobson's Exposed DVD, highly recommended. It's basically a popped and restored balloon doggy effect. Afterwards, place the restored balloon dog with the dollars. Later, perform a hat tear, tearing up some tissue paper and restoring it into a tissue paper party hat. Again, place it aside. Finally, it's the end of the show. Invite the birthday child up and with the help of your dove pan or favorite production device, produce a stuffed animal. Hand the toy to the birthday child, put the hat on their head, hand them the dollars and the balloon dog so that all the puzzle pieces throughout the show add up to become the gifts that you bestow upon the birthday child at the end of the show. Third, you can build a traditional running gag within your show. Attempt a trick a few times during the performance but fail miserably. Finally, at the end of the show, you attempt the same trick and succeed! Yay! Incidentally, you can build a traditional running gag with a sucker trick. Instead of failing at a trick a few times during the show, perform a terrible trick a few times during the show. Take the Metamorpho Spot Can, for example. Near the beginning of the show, you place the black and white silks into the can and say, you made them disappear. But now for the hard part, you say, making them come back. Not only will you get laughs from the parents, the kids will argue that you really didn't make them disappear at all. Later, you bring the silks out again, place them into the can, say the magic words, and pull them out saying, look, the white hanky has turned black, and the black hanky has turned white. Again, the kids will be unimpressed. Later, you attempt to cover the two silks with spots, and you do. White spots all over the white hanky, and black spots all over the black. The kids will be booing you by now. Finally, bring the can out at the end of the show. You'll already be getting more boos. This time, you pull the spots right off the can, toss them inside, and the silks actually emerge covered in spots. A traditional running gag like this will add a bunch of laughs and interaction to the show, but also create the semblance of a through line, leading us all up to a happy ending. Fourth, you can insert Fig Newtons into all of your routines. These are a repeated object that the magician continues to find throughout the show. A couple of bonus Fig Newton ideas for you. If all your repeated objects are identical, give them a name. Like find a furry worm in an early routine in your reading show. Introduce it as Walter. Walter is not a bookworm, he's a TV worm. So I make him read every day for at least 1 hour. Place him aside into your prop case so he can read. Every time you find another fake worm in the show, yell, Walter, you're supposed to be reading, and toss him back into your prop case. Even though you simply have a bunch of worms hidden in your show, by naming it and giving it a personality, from the kids' points of view, that same one worm is what keeps appearing. Also, your Fig Newtons can actually act as puzzle pieces, helping to build the finale. For example, you can keep finding pairs of underwear in your routines. Upset, you toss them aside into some sort of production box. Finally, at the end of the show, you're fed up at all the underwear, so you attempt to make them disappear by having the audience shout, "Go!" Wait, did you guys say go or grow? The kids will say they said go. But you open up the production box to find the world's largest pair of underwear, which happens to be available at novelty stores online. Finally, number 5, you can introduce a theme, one that's general enough that it can apply to all the effects you already do. For example, you can show your smartphone to the audience and talk about all the cool apps available these days. What the audience may not know is that magicians have access to all sorts of really cool magic apps. And what do you know? You happen to download a bunch of new ones this morning. Now demonstrate all the magic you normally do in your show, but frame it around the idea that these cool new apps you downloaded are making the magic happen. A broad concept like this can help in making all the random tricks in your show feel like they relate to one another and actually belong together.
So Sammy, are you ready to get out there and put on a show?
Almost. There's just one last thing I gotta do.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Bookend!
Yeah! That was the show! Hope it wasn't show! No, it was a show about writing a show! Hope it wasn't a show! Hope it wasn't a show! It was only a show about shows! So now it's time to go! Okay, it's really time to go now. Okay. You can just stay there, but I'm gonna go. Okay. Alright, bye now.